Hi Deb. My question is about texting versus dating and why men do this. I'm a single mom, officially divorced and separated since 2 years. Dating has been quite frustrating. I was with someone for a year who ended up not liking my children. We broke up 7 months ago, and I've struggled through online dating the past months. I am noticing that some guys have a tendency of texting frequently, if not all day long, but rarely planning dates. Back in September I met a guy, first grade date, lots of chemistry, texting all day long. But then getting him to want to see me again was like pulling teeth. I let him go after we only saw each other 3 times in 2 months, and that I realized that he was not emotionally available and that he was also a workaholic. Then met this other guy. Great first date. He started texting all day long as well. Took a while to set up another date, and again, getting him to see me in person was like pulling teeth. But in his texts he was a very smooth talker, telling me things like, "Wouldn't it be so great if we got married?" This went on for 3 months until I finally confronted him and he admitted to being indecisive because the separation from his ex was so recent, 6 months, and he was still mourning the loss. About a month ago I met another man. Again, first grade date. At the end of the date he said that he had a great time and that he wanted to see me again. He quickly followed up the next morning with a text suggesting to meet later in the week. I thought, wow, finally someone that is not like the others. We had a second date and it was amazing. We really hit it off, I thought. Then the following week he said he was super busy and couldn't meet me. He explained that he was finishing a big contract and that he had to go see his mother over the weekend because it was her birthday. I said, "No problem, I understand. Don't worry about it. Life gets busy sometimes, I get that. I will take the hint though if you're repeatedly unavailable to meet me," and added a smiley face or something. He assured me that wasn't the case, and that he really wanted to see me. The following week, he planned not only 1 date but 2. To make up for last week, he said. Again, we had a really great time. When I texted him over the weekend to ask, just planning my weekly schedule, "Will I be seeing you this week?" he said that he would have to check his ex's schedule, for the daughter, and got back to me saying, "Can we do lunch maybe?" I was disappointed, but said okay. But then he didn't bring up lunch again, nor any other dates for that matter. But he still texts me good morning every day, and good night every evening, and sends me texts with pictures of what he is doing and of his daughter throughout the day. I am so confused. Will this also follow the pattern of the other guys? I don't understand how this keeps happening. I tried to figure out if it was somehow my own doing, but I don't feel that is the case. I know that I am a pretty fun person to go on dates with. I can keep up with pretty much any conversation topic, and I make an effort to ask lots of questions, show interest and get to know them. I also know that men find me attractive, so don't think that is an issue. I also don't feel that I come off as too needy or clingy. I am very careful at not overwhelming men with text messages, especially throughout the day. I will reply quickly if I receive a text from them, but am otherwise trying to keep a balance between frequency, content, etc. I am very self-aware when it comes to those things. I try to be cheery, fun and relaxed in my communications. Just feeling a bit discouraged. It's so much energy with very little results. Thank you for your help.
Okay, you wrote a lot, so I'm going to go over your submission line by line or paragraph by paragraph. First, you say that you notice that guys have this tendency to want to text you to death instead of planning dates. You seem to, from what I'm reading here, go along with that. To me, if a man wants to see you, you should not overdose him with texting. You're using all your energy and dating time to talk to him via text versus if he really wants to spend time with you and get to know you, you should limit that. I'm not saying don't do it altogether, but I'm just saying this all day long stuff, I mean, don't you have something else to do? Aren't you supposed to be working? You got 2 kids. What are you doing with them? You should be playing with them versus texting with some chump you don't even know. Okay, so then you say, he was a very smooth talker, this other guy, and saying things to you like, wouldn't be so great if we got married. That's future faking, a typical narcissist game where they want to get your head all involved in a fantasy so they can manipulate you to give to them what they want while they don't really deliver. If you notice, nothing actually really happens. It's all conversation, smoke and mirrors. And, you allowed him to do that for 3 months until you finally confronted him. And then he admitted that you were just a rebound because he was still dealing with the loss of an ex. That mess, by the time he said it the first time, you should have shut that down. You don't let some man fill your head with dreams and smoke. You don't see what he's doing and you call him on it. And if nothing happens, then you get rid of him. Okay, so let's move on to the next paragraph. So then you meet this other guy and you say you had a great time and he wanted to see you again. And he followed up with a text suggesting that you meet later in the week. I'm not sure what age group you're in because you didn't communicate that. But if you're past 30, no man should be texting you to ask you out on a date. You should not allow that. Grown men use the phone, not text like a teenager. So that was a mistake right there. And I'm outlining all of these because not just for you, but for the women listening to this, since online dating seems to be a very popular way to meet people these days. This was just, you handled this very poorly. Okay, so I'm trying to get you so that when you go back out there, you have a different attitude and a different approach to how you handle these men. Okay, so you went on 2 dates with guys. That's great. You don't say if you slept with them, I hope you didn't. Okay, so then after the second date, he starts easing out. He starts the ghosting procedure, saying that he's busy and he couldn't get together. He's finishing the contract and all this other old dragon drama. That's how they start easing out because they don't want you to get too attached. However, you come back with some dramatic, emotion-filled response. Oh, no problem. I understand. Don't worry about it. And if I'll take the hint if you are repeatedly unavailable. Who cares? Nobody cares. He's not your boyfriend. You did too much. And all this emoting about some man that you only went out with 2 times. Are you kidding me right now? You should have said, oh, I don't care where you go and what you do, and then hang up the phone. That would have served him right because then he would know that he's overthinking your attachment. But of course, in your case, it was really true. But you didn't handle this well. Nothing about what you wrote here. Did you come at these men from a position of power and strength? You came at them like somebody just looking for approval, like a little puppy wagging his tail, waiting for some guy to pick you. So then the next week he says he want to make it up to you and you have a good time. And then you text him asking, oh, I'm planning my schedule. Will I be seeing you during the week? Wrong move. You never ask a man that. The only way you would do something like that is if it's your husband, your fiance, your serious committed boyfriend, then you guys are trying to coordinate schedules because you do spend a lot of time together. Again, this is a clown you went on 2 or 3 dates with. He's not your man. It was totally inappropriate for you to ask him that. At that point, he knew that he was in trouble with you, and so he had to back out before you got totally attached. He's going to spend time with his kid. There's nothing for you to compete with there. Okay, and then, he didn't bring up lunch and all that stuff. And, he's sending you good morning texts and good night texts and trying to date by text, sending you pictures and all this old silly stuff. You were supposed to shut that down and say, look, I'm not trying to get texted to death. Stop texting me. Either you're going to see me or you're not. If this is all you got to offer, bye. But you didn't do that. So you were in a position here. In each one of these situations with these men, you were in a position of power to let them know what your position is, what you were going to tolerate, what your boundaries were, and you didn't step up to the plate. You just let him decide. You put everything in his camp for him to decide if he wants to see you, for him to decide if he wants to text you, all the stuff. You put everything in his hands, and like it just comes across as very weak and needy, even though later you say that you don't think that you come off as needy and clingy. You do. Absolutely do. Okay, and now you might be a fun person to be around and all of that, but you have to change your approach to dealing with these guys. And my number one motto that I tell women, and I've been saying this for the past 30 years, if a man is not giving you the relationship that you want at any time and for any reason, you get rid of them. Okay? There's no question about that. You can, if it's somebody you've been in a long-term relationship with, of course, you approach him and tell him what you need. And then if he doesn't give it to you, then you just, next him and get on to the next one. because there will be somebody who will give you exactly what you need. You can't waste too much time on a man who's half stepping. So, you say that you also, this was another thing that bothered me before I get out of here. I forgot about this part. You say that you quickly reply to a text from them and all this stuff. You don't do that. That's not your man. You're acting like these guys are your boyfriends, a serious committed relationship when you just met these clowns. You respond to them, you get back to them when you get back to them, just like they do you. Okay? I don't understand all this energy that you're putting into this. And, you do say you're spending a lot of energy and getting very little results. That should tell you right there to stop doing it. You keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. It's not going to happen. So that's my advice to you. Rethink your approach when you're dealing with these guys. Keep in mind that they don't owe you anything. You're not in a committed relationship with them. They don't owe you time, and explanation, next date, nothing. You see them when you see them, and to fill your dance card with other men so that you don't get overly attached like this. You should be dating 2 or 3 dudes at the same time. I'm not saying you got to sleep with them all, but you should be talking to and spending time with 2 or 3 dudes at the same time at a minimum so that you don't get overly attached like this. You don't seem to know how to do this online dating thing well. And you start putting everybody in a position of boyfriend, like you have to perform like a circus seal or something, jumping through hoops to keep their attention. You don't do that, all right? This is Deb Cooper. I'll sign out. I'll talk to you guys later.